I know how this is going to sound, like I'm either crazy or I'm making it all up. But I need to say it out loud, need someone to believe me. Even if it's just a stranger on the other end of a screen. My name is Alyssa. I'm 27 now, but when all of this happened, I had just turned 21. Back then, I was like any other college student, broke, overwhelmed, and desperate for some independence. I had just transferred to a university in a different state, didn't know anyone, didn't have much money. So when I saw a cheap room for rent posted online, I jumped on it. The ad was simple. Room for rent, $350 per month, female only. Must love cats. That last part made me smile. I love animals. So I called the number. Her name was Kayla, soft voice, sounded about my age. She said she was quiet, liked to keep to herself, worked nights at a nearby hospital. It all sounded perfect. A week later, I was moving in. The apartment was small, second floor of a worn-down building at the edge of town. Old paint, creaky floors, that musty smell like everything had been slightly damp for too long. But it was cheap. I didn't ask questions. Kayla was strange, but not in any way that set off alarms. She was pale, like really pale. Always wore long sleeves, even inside. Her hair was pitch black and long, and she never tied it up. It just hung, curtain-like, around her face. But she was polite, quiet, distant. She only spoke when necessary and never made small talk. Her room was always locked when she wasn't home. Sometimes I heard things from behind her door. Scraping, low growls, like something dragging itself across the wood. But I thought, okay, maybe she just has a weird cat. Except, I never saw a cat. The first night, I heard her walking. Heavy footsteps, back and forth, from her room to the kitchen. But when I looked at the clock, it was 3:12 a.m. Then the bathroom light flicked on, then off, then on again. This happened almost every night. She never acknowledged it the next day. She'd just nod at me in the morning and then disappear into her room. I tried to be friendly. Once I invited her to watch a movie with me. She stared at me for a moment longer than was comfortable. Then she said, "No." The noise makes my bones itch. I laughed awkwardly. She didn't. At some point, I started locking my bedroom door at night. Then, the smell started. It came suddenly, like rotting meat soaked in vinegar and left in the sun. I thought something had died in the walls. But when I asked her about it, she just looked up from her cereal and said, "It's the shedding." I blinked. Shedding? She spooned cereal into her mouth. It's natural. I started noticing scratches on the walls near the floor. Tiny claw marks, like a dog, or something else, had been dragging its nails along as it walked. Again, no sign of a pet. The dreams began next. I'd see shadows in the corner of my room. A figure with Kayla's long hair and dead eyes, just standing, or sometimes crouched on all fours. I'd wake up covered in sweat, certain I had heard breathing right next to my ear. One night I was brushing my teeth and saw something move behind me in the mirror. I turned fast. Nothing. But the bathroom light flickered. And when I looked back at the mirror, my reflection smiled. I wasn't smiling. I told myself I was just stressed. New school, new place, weird roommate. I was just tired. Then came the night I saw it. I had a late shift at the campus library and came home around 1:45 a.m. As I unlocked the door, I heard a low rhythmic thumping coming from inside, like something was crawling on the walls. I stepped in slowly. The apartment was dark, except for a dim yellow light coming from the kitchen. And the sound, it was coming from the ceiling. I looked up, and I swear to you, Kayla was on the ceiling, Not standing, not hanging, crawling. Back arched unnaturally, head twisted all the way backward, her eyes wide open but unfocused. Her hair hung down like black ropes. Her limbs, too long, bent wrong, moving in this skittering, insect-like way. I gasped. She stopped, turned her head slowly, until her face was upside down, staring directly at me. "Don't be awake," she whispered. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. Her mouth opened, too wide, rows of teeth, not sharp, not human, just too many. Then she dropped from the ceiling and vanished into her room. Slammed the door shut. I didn't sleep. I sat in my locked bedroom, holding a kitchen knife all night. In the morning, she acted like nothing happened. "Did you eat my strawberries?" she asked while tying her hair up. It was the first time I saw her do that. There was something wrong with her neck. A bulge under the skin, like something moving inside. I said no. She smiled, tight-lipped, and left. That same day, I packed a bag and went to stay at a friend's dorm. Didn't tell her why. Didn't even officially move out. 3 days later, the apartment building caught fire. Kayla's unit was the origin point. They never found her body. No one knew who she really was. The lease was fake. The phone number she gave me disconnected. There were no hospital records of her working anywhere nearby. She didn't exist. And yet, I found a photo, weeks later, tucked in the back of one of my textbooks. Me and her, standing in the apartment. Except, I don't remember that moment. And in the photo, her eyes were pure black. Sometimes, late at night, I hear the thump, thump, thump above my bedroom ceiling. Even now, years later, I've changed cities, changed my name, but it doesn't matter. She still finds me. I don't think she was ever human. Not really. Maybe she wore the skin of one. Maybe she borrowed the memories. But I remember her voice the most. How it sounded when she said, "Don't be awake." And I think I understand what she meant now. Maybe we're not meant to see what walks among us in the dark. Maybe we're supposed to sleep through it. Pretend the noises are nothing. Ignore the scratches. Forget the shadows. Because once you see them, they see you back. And they never stop watching. Not all roommates are human. Some are just waiting to be remembered.